I'm Jesse McElreath. Welcome to our podcast, episode 6. I'm here with Dr. Brian Ridley, Superintendent of the Gilmer County School System. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Jesse. I appreciate it.
No problem. How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's a great day to be a Bobcat.
Yes, it is. How long have you been with the Gilmer County School System?
I'm actually finishing my 4th year as Superintendent of the Gilmer County Schools, and so I came here in 2021.
What did you do before coming to Gilmer, and why did you choose the Gilmer County Schools?
Well, that's kind of a big question, Jesse. I started out my teaching career as a high school music teacher, as a band director. Although I taught chorus and guitar and other things like that, I was a band director, and I did that for several years. I was in the classroom for about eight and a half years, and then I got an opportunity to move into the administration field as an assistant principal, and I ran an alternative school in Haralson County. From there, I was an assistant principal for a few years, became an elementary school principal, then a middle school principal, and eventually worked my way up to the district office as assistant superintendent in Haralson County. And I knew I always wanted to be a superintendent, but we found ourselves with most of our children grown out of the house, and we just decided to have an adventure, and there were several superintendent positions open at that time, and Gilmer County was one of the more attractive ones, so I came up here, interviewed for the job, and they decided to hire me. So,
Great. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your family. Do you have any hobbies you like to do outside of?
well, in this type of job, I work a lot, so sometimes it's kind of hard to fit in time for hobbies. But I've again, as a musician, I've done that most of my life. Played semi-professionally when I was teaching and even afterwards. So I enjoy listening to music, making music, playing my instruments, and just enjoying those sorts of things. I also collect things from time to time. Have different interests, but yeah, I have a good time with that. My family, my wife and I have 5 kids and 2 grandchildren. Our oldest is in the military, and he has 2 daughters and lives in outside of Washington, works there. Our next oldest son is an artist, tattoo artist in North Carolina. Our oldest daughter, she's in talent acquisition for a global consulting firm. So we're really proud of her. And our youngest son is also in the military. He lives in Italy and works on fighter jets, and is about to have our first grandson. And then our youngest just finished at Chat Tech and is starting her career out as a cosmetologist.
Oh,
So we've got a lot of kids. They range in age from 21 to 36.
here's one of the tougher questions. What are you most proud of the 4 years you have been here at Gilmer?
Well, that is a tough question, because I think we've accomplished a lot in 4 years. I mean, as you might remember, in 2021, we were really just coming out of the COVID pandemic, and I guess public education had really taken a hit during that time. We closed schools for a while, and then kids weren't coming to school, and there were a lot of challenges during that time. So academic achievement had really fallen in many areas, and a lot of things got, I guess, delayed during that time. But if you look back across the last 4 years, we've made a lot of progress in many areas. Right now, we're in a very aggressive cycle of building and construction. We're building the new Performing Arts Center. We've finished multiple projects. We've redone and moved the Noah Harris Center down to the old Larry Walker Gym. We've got new weight rooms in the old Noah Harris Center. We've done paving. We've cut trees. We've converted buildings. We've added hundreds of thousands of square footage for our students. But and all those are great accomplishments. And our sports teams are doing well. Our arts programs are knocking it out of the park. But really, if I had to pick one thing that I'm the most proud of, is I think we've worked very hard to improve academics district-wide. I've had really a singular focus academically on literacy, particularly early literacy, and it's not been easy, because there's still these lingering issues that have to deal with COVID, like poor student attendance and learning loss. But we've really made a lot of academic improvements and instructional improvements at the K-5 level that are starting to pay dividends with increased levels of early literacy. We see those filter up through the preceding or the subsequent grades. I think we're really going to be proud of what we've accomplished and see our students really achieve at higher levels. Not to mean that our middle and high school students aren't. They are. They're doing really well. We've made a lot of great improvements there, particularly at the high school. But I think if I had to pin down one thing that I'm most proud of, it's the improvements we've seen in academic performance.
Tell us about all the construction and all the new things coming to Gilmer schools.
Oh, like I mentioned, I think the big thing we've got going on right now is the Performing Arts Center, which, you guys see it every day out there. That's 55,000 square feet, 1,000-seat auditorium. It'll have facilities for band, chorus, drama, set shops. The nutrition and wellness lab will be out there, and the office space for the college and career academy. The ultimate goal was to bring everything that was down in Larry Walker up here so all our students could be under one roof. And originally that was just supposed to be a performing arts center, but when the board, I guess, sort of challenged me to bring everybody up the hill, that's when we really went back to the drawing board, added those classroom spaces to it, and made those efforts to get everything here. Because what happens is when we move the band room out, it allows me to take the old band room and convert it into new lab space. Chorus room goes to the Performing Arts Center. Well, this program will be housed in the old chorus room. We're going to renovate that into more efficient studio space and classroom space for this audio-visual technology lab. Same thing goes with public safety and the early childhood pathways. And so it's a long process. Construction it takes a while, especially when you're having to blast rock out over there. But that's our biggest project right now, and it's already in process. So we expect to see footings going down and walls going up in the next few months. After that, it'll start to take shape, and people will see a little bit more progress. But it's not the only thing we have going. And we're also in the process of designing an auxiliary gym for this campus. Our oldest school is J Elementary School, and it needs to be replaced. And so we're actually in the design process for that. We've got a lot of things going on right now, a lot of construction happening. We just finished returfing the baseball field, and some of those baseball facilities will be housed inside the auxiliary gym. So everything has to happen in a certain order. Like to put the auxiliary gym on the tennis courts, we're building 8 tennis courts over where the old softball field was. Well, you can't start that until you get the softball/baseball field turfed. It's just like a domino effect. So the board has been very aggressive about that. And in fact, we put a map out. You may remember it from Facebook, with that sort of listed all of the projects we were going to do over the course of the next 24 months or so. We're 11 months in, and almost everything on that list is either in process or finished. So,
and it's not just like one sport or one club's getting one thing. Everybody's getting something new.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the point. People get worried when they see something going up for this thing. Well, my thing's not getting what it needs. Yeah, it is, because as the superintendent, it's my job to make sure that all of our programs and all of our kids are served, and our kids deserve the best. So we want to give them the best facilities and the best equipment and the best opportunity that we possibly can.
Yesterday I seen that we had a press release. Would you like to talk anything about that with the Oakland
Sure.
School?
A lot of people remember the Oakland School back before it was closed, and it's a great building. When I first came here 4 years ago, it was in really good shape. And we've actually entered into a couple of different partnerships over the years with different organizations, government organizations, whatever, to potentially use the building for something else. And it's never really worked out. A lot of people look at that building and they say, that'd be a great place for fill in the blank. And then they walk inside and they realize how big it really is. It's not very big for a school, but to use it for some of these other uses, it's quite large. It's just never worked out. It's never really fit any of the uses that anybody wanted to have it for. We didn't have it for sale. It was just kind of sitting there. We were having some conversations about how we might continue to utilize it in some way. The last couple of years have been really rough on the building. We've spent a lot of time and money and effort to keep vandals out, to keep people from getting in there and squatting, but they still get in. And so there's been, I would say, hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage done on the inside. Plumbing fixtures, glass fixtures, ceiling tiles. It's really sustained a lot of damage in the past couple of years from people getting in there and just vandalizing it. We had an interested party that came along and said, hey, we'd like to make you an offer on the building. And we considered their offer, and in consideration of the damage of the building and what it's worth, and the board decided to accept it. And we're actually pretty excited about it, because some of the things that we've had people ask us about using the building for weren't really usage that our board was comfortable with, or thought that the community around that building might be comfortable with. But this, although it is a commercial use, one of the parties involved in this is a former student there, loves the school, and wants to preserve that history. I mean, we'll keep the historical marker. They're going to use that front area to display some artifacts and some of the history of the school. So even though it's being converted to a commercial use, it's going to be preserved in some way. And I think ultimately, even if it wasn't, right now it's a blight on that area of the community, and it's a place where vandals and, I guess, people up to no good are hanging out.
Yep.
So anything you can do to improve that, I think the neighborhood's going to be very happy with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm in that neighborhood.
See?
Yeah. For the people that have any questions, why do we have a college and career academy?
That's a great question. Back in the day, we had the old CTAE programs, and the main difference, I guess, in my mind, is back during CTAE, we as a school would decide these are the programs we're going to have, and then we would just have them forever. There wasn't as much of a connection with the community, even though some programs did connect with the community. The College and Career Academy model is a little bit more, in my mind, intentional about its purpose, where we take a look at the needs of our community, the needs of our state, and the desires of our kids, and we implement programs that meet those needs to build an actual workforce. And we integrate more seamlessly with our secondary ed partners such as Chat Tech, UNG, and all the programs that offer career training out in the world. It's a more intentional attitude toward our partnerships within the business community. You've got a CEO of your college and career academy, and his job is to create those connections with the community, build community support, develop resources and opportunities for kids. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, it's just a more intentional method of ensuring that our kids are provided with the skills they need to be successful in the workforce, and that our workforce is provided with skilled workers that'll help it to grow and develop our community economically. And I think for this community, we have such a unique combination of industry here. We have everything from ag production to ag tourism, the hospitality industry. There's a ton of entrepreneurship opportunities here. I mean, there's a lot of people that have their own small business, and that's how they make a living. We don't have a lot of manufacturing, but then on the other hand, we also have a retirement community that's starting to move here, and we need workers for the industries that support that elder population, such as medical, service industry, again, hospitality. We need everything, because these people move here to retire. They don't typically work, so we have to continually go back and fill those workforce positions to take care of the people that we have in our community.
Is there anything you would like to say about the teachers and administrators here at Gilmer?
Well, I think the administrators are okay for the most part. No, I'm kidding. Probably one of our biggest strengths is that we do have a very talented and committed stable of teachers and administrators. We have a lot of people who went to school here and are very committed to the school and the success of our students. On the other hand, we are a great school system, and so people want to work here, particularly because we perform really well. Our kids are fantastic, so everybody wants to work here. And so we're able to attract quality candidates from other districts who bring with them experience and knowledge that they picked up in other places. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. We're really able to recruit great people from the outside, and we've got great people who are from the community that want to work here. So I think we're really blessed to have the teachers and administrators that we have.
Mm-hmm. Something back to the College and Career Academy is for the people that are watching, it's not, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it's not people who have like a teaching degree, you would say. It's people who have experience in that class, like public safety, was a cop, firefighter,
Yeah.
audio video tech.
Yeah, and the flexibility, we're a charter district under Georgia state law, so the flexibility of that charter allows us to hire people who are industry experienced and not always have to depend on a teaching certificate. You know, back in the old days, if you didn't have a teaching certificate in this area, we couldn't hire you. But let's say we need, hypothetically speaking, an audiovisual teacher. Well, we go out and find somebody who has a wealth of experience in the industry and is able to come in and do things like this, but may or may not necessarily have a teaching certificate in that area, because if I'm being totally honest, there just aren't a lot of people who have those teaching certificates. And in today's job market, there are a lot of people in the industry that, even if they do have teaching certificates, they're going to go out and work in industry, and they're not always interested in coming back and doing doing a teaching job. So it gives us the flexibility to hire the best people for the job, regardless of their teaching certificate.
Is there anything you'd like to say about our sports coaches or any other activities or clubs that we have at Gilmer Schools?
Well, I think we have the best. We have the best of everything. We've got great athletics. We've got great arts. We've got the CTAE programs. We've got probably the best ag FFA program in the state. I just couldn't be prouder. And over the past several years, we've seen so much growth in a lot of these areas. And I think what it really boils down to is we've tried to instill the idea, and we tried to hire people that really internalize the idea that good is never good enough. They say that good is the enemy of great. And in a system like this, we're a good school system. And sometimes if you think that's okay, it can prevent you from really moving to the next level. But my challenge to all of our teachers, all of our administrators, is that we don't want to be good. We want to be great. We can't ever really rest on our laurels. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm not really all that interested in being great. I'm interested in looking to that next level and being able to say, we are the elite. And people who are elite, they behave differently than people who are good or great. And we have to continually reinforce that mindset in our staff so that they can reinforce that mindset in our students.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, like I said, it's always a great day to be a Bobcat. I've enjoyed the last 4 years, and I hope they keep me for a little longer.
There you go. Thank you for being with us today, Dr. Ridley. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity. It's been
problem.
fun.